All right, welcome to the Up and Adam Show. We are in New York City, shutting it down, and we had Rob Gronkowski, we had Shane Vereen, so of course the Patriots got a win last night. We'll break that all down. A lot of news, some weird news that I don't want to delve into, and some other news we should get to, like Trevor Lawrence returning to practice. Is he actually going to play? We'll talk to Mia O'Brien of 1010XL in Jacksonville. We've had Lamar Jackson missing practice with an illness, so his status is in doubt. Sarah Ellison of the Ravens Vault is going to hang out with us and tell us the latest we need to know there. And we have Bills reporter and a dear friend of mine, Maddy Glab, on to discuss some of the troubling things that are going on in Buffalo. And guess what? Braxton Berrios, or as we like to call him, Honey Nut Berrios, well, on the show. What is that? We had a game last night, people, between those Patriots and those Steelers. We have the best reporters in the business. I like, when there's like these weird nebulous questions, I really enjoy bringing on the people who are in the building, who know what's going on better than anyone because they see, they feel the vibes and all of that. So I cannot wait to get to some of that with the Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, and with Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Braxton Berrios is on the show. How good is he? Knows what a championship team feels like. His rookie year, he was hurt, he didn't play, but that Patriots team won a Super Bowl. He has a ring from them. Does this Miami team, very different vibe, but do they have what it takes to sort of have that toughness and mentality to get to the Super Bowl and maybe win one? He'll join us, but last night was fun, and it was sort of better than a lot of us expected. Some of these games are. I feel like we're dragging some of these matchups and flex it, but they end up being really good. Patriots snap a 5-game skid, and they hand the Steelers their second loss to a 2-win team in the span of 4 days. Not looking great. And with that, the Steelers have fallen all the way out of the playoff picture. Is this the year? It's not good. Browns move up to the top wild card spot. Wow. And the Colts to the 6th seed. And maybe most significantly, honestly, the Texans have now entered the right side of the playoff picture. Those Cardinals and Patriots wins have also given the Bears a 2-game cush for the #1 overall pick that they hold courtesy, of course, of Carolina. As for this game, don't worry, Bizapi was huge. He had 3 touchdown passes on the night. Belichick, and his brass coached a great game. But for the Steelers, this is all about missed opportunities. It was not great. First, there was this pretty clear offsides on New England. What was it? Hamilton? Come on.
One of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Why?
I mean, it is a clear offside. Everybody was dumbfounded up in the booth over this one. I mean, look at Presley Harvin. He's amped up. He knows he got them to jump off sides, and they called it a false start on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Al was like, huh? Steelers had plenty of their own miscues, guys, as well, decided to go for a 4th and 2 instead of kicking a chip shot field goal. They came up short there. And then, opting to try this prayer on 4. Take me through this, Hamilton.
Yeah, 4th and 2, you're thinking, let's just get to the sticks, let's get the first down, keep this drive moving, but they take a deep shot to Deontay Johnson with a safety over the top. It just wasn't there. And this just kind of summed up the whole night for the Steelers offense. It just was out of sync and sloppy pretty much all night long. I said yesterday morning, this is a must win. And you can see why with the schedule, guys. 3 of the final 4 games on the road. That music is serious, and so is this. Seriously, every single one against a team that's 500 or better. This season is on the brink right now. And with the level of competition in the AFC, I think anything short of 3-1 the rest of the way, that's going to take, they got to go 3-1 or they're out of the playoffs. Yeah, it's, not only do you have those teams like the Texans and Colts and Browns already in there, but you have the Bills, the Bengals sitting right behind the Steelers now, just a half game back. Yeah. So there's no margin for error anymore.
Do we believe in the Bengals? Of course we do. How about this? The Eagles. Let's get to them in the NFC side of things. As for this weekend, it's a big matchup on big matchup. Cowboys-Eagles has been talked about a lot. We've been talking about the Cowboys a lot. Hamilton's going to talk about Dak Prescott when we do Hammer Time in a little bit here. So I wanted to dig into the Eagles side a little bit ahead of this. Jason Kelce, he was asked yesterday, by the way, Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. I was crying watching it. It was amazing. Congrats to Lane Johnson, who we love, one of our first guests on our show. And he's amazing, so congrats to him. But Jason Kelce was asked what's going on with the defense on the Eagles lately. And, they just got, beat up by the Bills and the Niners. And here was his answer.
I'm not making excuses at all. We got to be better on offense, defense, across the board. But I think that, as an offense, when you're functioning, you're keeping guys fresh. It's hard. Defense is a reactionary position. A lot of it, unless there's a blitz and you're dialed up to go over here, A lot of it is kind of reacting to what the offense is giving you formationally from a play perspective. And you have to be incredibly quick and decisive and athletic. There's a reason why corners are the most athletic guys on the field. It's very hard to play those positions, and I think we can do a better job of keeping those guys fresh just by functioning better as an offense.
We can do a better job. I mean, Travis is great. Jason's music to my ears. That's leadership right there. He could have very easily said, that's their thing. They got to do. I'm not worried about them. They got Brandon Graham. They got veterans. I trust those guys. Blah blah blah. To take like the extra step of putting some of that blame on his plate on the offense, that's like next level teammating right there. Beyond that, there's really something to what he's saying. If you go back to the Bills game, the Eagles did score in bunches at points, but the Bills held the ball for over 40 minutes. And then last week, right, against the Niners, after Philly controls the ball for nearly 14 of the first 16 minutes of the game, the wheels kind of come off. Look at this. Hamilton dug this up. While the game was still in reach in the second and third quarters, Philly only had one sustained drive. Other than that, they pretty much just went with the Will Ferrell plan of just punting it back to the Niners as soon as they got it, okay? Punt, punt, punt. San Francisco answered with touchdowns on 6 straight possessions. How do they fix this? Get the run game going, right? Jalen's proven time and time again he can lead this team to wins with his arm. Sometimes it's not about what you're capable of. It's about what puts you in the best position to win. And since Week 8, the Eagles' defense is ranked dead last in the NFL, guys. They're allowing 435 yards per game. Darius talking about tackling. Debo, we're talking about like how over that span, they're 24th in rushing offense, 23rd in time of possession, 23rd. So compare that to last year. They were 4th in rush offense and 7th in time of possession. That is the Eagles football that we've come to expect. So I know that I've said that they're doing it different ways this year. That is not the way to win a Super Bowl. That is not the way to get to a Super Bowl. That's not the way to win against the Cowboys. We'll see if they can get back to their roots a little bit more against Dallas. I think they're going to need to get a win here to hold on to the NFC East. If they want the 1 seed, this is a must-win game for this squad. All right, we're going to hit you guys with some K-makers. We've got lots of things to talk about here on and Up and Adams. Yeah! These are my anytime touchdown scorer picks, okay? First up, I'm going back to the well with Amon-Ra St. Brown, okay? He's up against the Bears. He scored 3 of 4, including the win over Chicago just a couple of weeks ago. I just think it keeps repeating. It happens. Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus, he's a good value play, okay? He's good as far as, like, what's going on at FanDuel Sportsbook. He has one game where he doesn't score a touchdown, and you're getting plus odds. Is that right?
Yeah.
What? The Chargers held him out of the end zone. Even with that, he scored 9 times. Mooney? 9 times in the last 6 games. And for my last one, I wanted to take a big swing with Desmond Ridder at plus 410. The Bucs have allowed the 2nd most rushing touchdowns to the quarterback spot. And Ridder, low-key, punching them in. He's punched in 4 this year so far. So, we're going to talk a little more about the Falcons, I think. Will Jesse Bates come on our show?
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd love to see that. All right, we got lots more to get to, so we will do that with the best reporters in the business, the best of the beat. Joining us after this, what illness does Lamar have? What's going on here? How does it affect this weekend's action? Trevor Lawrence back? Let's do it.
just got another dub. That's 2 in a row.
Hey, big dub, walk off.
Hey, clear it out.
I'm so excited about the men in the room.
Hey, I can't tell you guys how proud I am of this team.
Undeniable strength, mentally and physically.
That's just cool as the way we come to play football.
Sam Laporta.
Rookies get a speech. Yeah. Your new rookie receiving record holder for the Rams.
I mean, Puka is my absolute fave. We'll see. They've got the Ravens this week and lots of fun games. You just saw Mike McDaniel, who Braxton Berrios calls Mike McDaniels the entire time I interviewed him. We'll bring you that interview. It was very funny, and I should have called him Braxton Berrio if I was with it and funny like I was yesterday. I thought about that after the fact. We'll bring you that interview. He wanted to talk about Zach Wilson. I gave him that opportunity. That's important with all the stuff going on with Zach, a friend of his, a former teammate who just spoke to him last week. So I'll bring you all of that. But we want to take a look closer at these games. You saw the celebration. Who's winning? Who's losing? What are these? Some of these weird storylines. And the best way to do that is to hit the field pass. We're going to closer look as we start in Baltimore. Formerly an editor for the Baltimore Ravens, used to read her stuff all the time. Currently hosting the Ravens Vault podcast on Blue Wire. Sarah Ellison, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kay?
I'm so great. Thanks for making the time. I know it's a busy, busy time, big game. There's this news that Lamar Jackson mispracticed due to an illness. So let's start with that. Obviously not the news any Ravens fan, or you guys, I'm sure, were hoping to hear coming off their bye week. What's the update? Are we expecting Lamar to go against the Rams?
Yeah, I think so. It is kind of one of those things where when media first report it in the beginning session of practice, fans get nervous, but it did come out. It is just an illness. This is not abnormal. It seems like Lamar Jackson, about this time of year, seems to always come down with a little something. Rashad Bateman was the only player that missed practice the day before due to an illness. Offensive coordinator Todd Monken, when he was at the pressers, he looked like he was under the weather a little bit. So my guess is there's a little, December thing going around in the locker room. But I expect, just like Rashad Bateman just missed a day, I don't think this will keep Lamar Jackson down for long.
Sarah, are you going to those pressers? Are you masking up? Like, we got to keep you healthy.
Oh, no, I am not. I am not the pressers. I do everything from home, Kay. So I'm good.
Great.
Thanks for your concern, though. I appreciate that.
And cheers for that. So there's just a bit of a bug going on. Hate to see that, hate to hear that. I mean, because they want to stay in the hunt for the 1 seed in the AFC. And they have arguably, Sarah, the toughest 5-game schedule to end the season, starting with the playoff-hungry Rams, who actually, they're feisty, they look good, they look young, athletic. It's amazing. If I show you this Ravens schedule, they've had a lot of, good teams with Lamar. I would love to ask you, what sets this team apart and makes you maybe believe they can overcome this schedule to get that 1 seed?
Yeah, this is definitely like a playoff-like gauntlet. So the Ravens will be tested by the time January gets around. But I think the feeling around Baltimore with this 2023 roster is that it is even more complete than the 2019 team that went 14-2, because that team in 2019, while it took everybody by storm, it just did not have the wide receiver weapons that Lamar Jackson has today. Granted, he has missed Mark Andrews, so they're going to have to figure out on offense how to overcome that. But now you've got a running game that is number 1 in the league. You've got pass catchers that can be there for Lamar, so he doesn't have to play Superman every single game. And then this defense, Kay, I was looking at the numbers in the John Harbaugh era, which had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs. This defense in the John Harbaugh era, going back to 2008, is either number 1 and 2 in almost all statistical categories. So to combine this offense with Lamar Jackson with this defense, it makes it a very complete roster.
It does, and my Hamilton over here shaking his head. We don't know, can they go all the way is a big question. You're calling them a complete team, but a big factor, as we've seen in Super Bowls and we've seen in any given day, can be Odell Beckham Jr. Mark Andrews is out, focal point, guy who always gets the ball. We're calling this a complete team without Mark Andrews, which is insane because we're talking about the depth here, but the production's been on an upswing with Odell. 246 yards, 2 touchdowns over the last 4 games. He's playing his former team that he won a Super Bowl with, that, you know, they got hurt during, like, he's playing Sean McVay, all of that, and he was such a big part of it. I'm hearing rumors that Odell's not completely healthy. I've heard these things. I don't know what to believe.
Now, that certainly was true. Well, it's true now, too, but it was early in the season. So, Odell, man, your heart kind of goes out to him because he's been working so hard since injuring that knee in the Super Bowl with the Rams. And he feels like he had more to give that game. So we all know the trials and the challenges that he went through to rehab. Then he comes to the Ravens training camp, has a great training camp. And in about week 2, he gets hurt. And I don't think people quite knew. And so people, you know, were like, oh, this is not the same Odell. He's getting older. He's not as fast. But then he started. That's when you saw the 100-yard game. He just started getting healthier and healthier. But in that 100-yard game, he hurt his shoulder again. So now it's not his legs, but it's his shoulder. So he will be dealing with pain throughout this stretch. But it certainly is something that he can work through. But yeah, he's gonna have to grit through it. And Lamar is gonna need him, along with Zay Flowers and Bateman and Isaiah Likely, who's the young tight end filling in for Mark Andrews. So they're gonna have to find their way. But they've had a lot of rest, and so they're hoping that coming out of this bye, Odell Beckham Jr. will be feeling better.
And hopefully that he stays away from that bug as well. And those rumors that I'm hearing are not true, as they'll be super crucial down the stretch. Sarah Ellison, we appreciate you. Everybody go listen to Ravens Vault. And, you know, let's make the Super Bowl push in the AFC. Let's go over to Mia O'Brien. She's joining us, 1010XL in Jacksonville. Mia, we appreciate you joining us on a Friday. Trevor Lawrence had I'm shocked just with how he looked. He returns to practice. Like a couple of days later, there's footage of him like airing it out all over the place. What is going on with Trevor?
All I know, Kay, is that I ran 3 miles yesterday morning and I woke up as sore as I've ever been. Maybe that's just turning 31. Maybe I need, similar to what Evan Ingram told me in the locker room yesterday, I need to get whatever Trevor has as far as healing powers go, and we all need to bottle that up because it is incredible. The fact that he was able to pivot, the fact that he was able to participate, not necessarily in team drills. I was told that CJ Beathard did officially get all the reps with the ones yesterday, although he's a little bit banged up as well. He has said he will be good to go, although he probably gets listed on the injury report heading into Sunday's game at Cleveland. But the fact that Trevor was throwing to his wide receivers, it wasn't like he was just out there jogging. He was out there actually participating in practice, handing the ball off to his running backs, agility moves, you name it. I mean, you know, we've joked here that he's a Jaguar, so obviously he's a cat, so he has 9 lives, and he went to Clemson, so that's another 9 lives because he's a Tiger. So I guess that's 18 lives. Like, that's the only thing I can come up with as to how he's able to do what he's doing.
I mean, the only hole in your logic is that Christian Kirk is also a Jaguar, and he's not as lucky. He is not. Whatever is going on with Trevor is not happening with Christian Kirk, who I hate to see him off the field. But I did like to see when he left the field, the Jags were sort of able to look at Ingram. They were able to look at some of their other guys to step up. How are they planning to fill that hole on Sunday up against this Cleveland defense?
Yeah, obviously Parker Washington, the 6th-round rookie out of Penn State, performed admirably in place of Christian Kirk, both as a wide receiver but also as a returner, because don't forget the Jaguars are still down Jamal Agnew, who won't be eligible to return off the reserve injured list until next week against the Ravens. And so a tall task asked of the 6th-round rookie Parker Washington. But as much as I was told he probably knew the playbook 50-50. And obviously, as Trevor has now alluded to and Parker admitted himself, the play in which Trevor Lawrence was hurt, he was looking for Parker Washington, who ran the wrong route. Parker was just so adamant about apologizing to Trevor, saying he felt some of the blame. Trevor said he's a rookie. Parker said he's a rookie. Those sort of things happen. But that touchdown grab in the back of the end zone, I mean, that's something that I think a lot of veterans who've been in the league for decades aren't able to make. Parker Washington came into this class, into the league, in this draft class, having one of the lowest drop rates in all of college football his final season at Penn State. And it obviously showed when he was literally able to strip the ball away from what looked to be, at least in the press box, a surefire interception and haul it in for his first career touchdown. So I would expect a heavy dose of him. And don't forget, Calvin Ridley, 4 less catches than Christian Kirk on the season. Maybe he starts picking up the pace.
Yeah. He's incredible. Really, really well said by you. And that interception, I called that interception on Manningcast. I wanted it to be an interception. No offense to the Jags, of course. But let's talk a little bit about Doug Peterson, because he did just come out and say that Trevor Lawrence is officially questionable. They're optimistic. He used that word, so that just happened right now. But I was on Manningcast, and Peyton and Eli asked me about Doug Peterson and like what I thought that effect looked like from players that I've talked to. You're with that team much more than I. You're the person to ask this question to. What are you noticing? Don't even take me back to last year, sort of this year, and what Doug Peterson has been able to get out of this team and just vibe-wise when you're there.
I think the best example I can give you when you hear the players say he's the same guy, he's consistent, whether you win or lose, is if we go back to week 3 against the Texans. A lot of players on this Jaguars team, which now they've admitted a few weeks later, showed up to that one thinking they were playing Northwest Missouri State or directional East Kentucky. And you can't do that in the NFL. There are no Northwest directional East Kentuckys. That doesn't exist. Doug Peterson ripped his team a new one. I heard from multiple coaches. Bucky Brooks, our Jaguars Radio Network sideline reporter, and a former teammate of Doug's was in the locker room. He reported it live on the air. He had never heard Doug curse the way that he did in that locker room, the blue streak that he unleashed. And I think that it bared weight because Doug is always so easygoing. And so when he does erupt, that's when these players know that they have done something wrong and they have to respond. And I think that's where so many people who questioned last year that Doug Peterson coddled this team and that, he was worried about feeling and we need to earn their trust. Well, guess what? That the time for that has passed, and he can be a hard butt if he has to be.
A hard butt if he has to be. Mia O'Brien,
I didn't know what the rules are on
so
FanDuel TV. I didn't want to cuss or anything like that.
We have Gronk on every week. Let it rip. That's what we say here on the program. We appreciate you. 1010XL in Jacksonville. Congrats on such a fun season. And, just even Christian Kirk told me that the win over the Chargers last year has completely carried on to this season. It's given them so much confidence. I think Doug Peterson and press and what they've got going on has really permeated. And it's been very cool to see what a difference it makes to go from disfunct in a circus, truly, to a well-led organization. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mia, and talk to you soon. And let's go home here now. We've got Field Pass welcoming in my girl, Buffalo Bills reporter Maddy Glab. It's Maddy Glab time. Hey, Maddy.
Hey, good to see you, Kay.
You're off a bye week. Hopefully you got some rest. I don't think you did because you all got some stuff going on that team inside those doors. But let's get into this game against Kansas City. Very excited about it. Very hyped up. Everybody is about all the storylines. But we got to go into the McDermott of it all first because there's some things that were reported that he said. What do you got as far as what's coming out of that Bills locker room?
Yeah, so Sean McDermott talked to media yesterday afternoon, which I thought was really impressive for him to notice that something was going on and say, hey, I actually want to talk about this. And I want to address the elephant in the room here. He said that, hey, I missed the mark on those comments, and I immediately apologized to the team and guys who at that time were on the team and some who still are on the team said, we appreciated those comments. And some players said, we didn't even need to hear from coach after that. We knew what he was trying to do, and we appreciated those apologies. And he even said, hey, I'm going to speak to this current team. I'm going to talk to them this afternoon. That was yesterday when he was talking about it. So he talked to the team after a team meeting yesterday afternoon, and we heard from him just a few minutes ago on the radio on WGR, and he said that it was well received by the team. He said the team was great at the tail end of the meeting after they spoke. He said that group has been great to him, and he said, I take pride in doing things the right way. I by no means am a perfect person. I missed the mark here, and I apologize for those comments.
How's it affecting the team? What has been like this team, and is it going to be and factor into this weekend?
Yeah, I think this team and the guys who have been on this team for several seasons, which we have a lot of veterans in this locker room, they've been through so much over the last 3 years, whether it was games moving due to weather, due to snow, or DeMar Hamlin, or other things that have gone on, that I think this group is just been tested enough to know that they have a task at hand that they need to focus on. And I believe they have guys that are old enough and are wise enough in the locker room to know what needs to be focused on and what they should be giving their effort and their thoughts and their mind and their physical body to, which is practice coming up today in just a short 30 minutes here as they get ready for a huge game against the Chiefs. It's things like, we all have life that happens. We all have things that happen to us that we can't control. And it's if you let those things sink in and if you let them get the best of you, I believe this team knows there's a huge game coming up and they can't let something get the best of them when they're still in the hunt for a potential playoff spot.
They are, and it's Sunday. It's the late window. It's a massive showdown, like you're alluding to. That when these two teams squared off last year in that building, Allen had 3 touchdown passes and helped propel Buffalo to a nice little 24-20 win. Do you think we're going to get a big Josh Allen arm situation, or are we going to see some wrinkles out of this new look offense now?
I think we're going to see a little bit of both. I mean, Josh Allen is always good for some air yards against the Chiefs because he's had 3 straight games against the Chiefs where he's had at least 300 passing yards and at least 3 total touchdowns and quite a high passer rating. I think it's around 117 in the last 3 games against the Chiefs. So I would expect we're going to see that from Josh Allen because that's just what he does against the Chiefs when he's playing a great team. He knows how to be great on a big stage. I also would expect some wrinkles too. I mean, he got it going on the ground in week 12 against the Eagles, the week before our bye week. I'm getting all confused here with a late bye in week 13. But yeah, week 12 against the Eagles, he got it going on the ground and he had such a great performance against that team. This team has scored over 30 points in the last 2 weeks and they've really started to figure things out on offense and I think feel comfortable with where they're at. I mean, they've got incredible talent across the line, starting with the offensive line. You've got Stephon Diggs, you've got Dalton Kincaid, a rookie tight end who's been playing at an elite level, and you're continuing to get healthy off of a bye week. Dawson Knox his practice window has opened. He's been out for quite some time. So they're getting guys back at the right time. I mean, this is when you want to peak. And I'm hoping that we're going to see that out of this team as they play a great Chiefs team who's 8-4 and number 3 in the standings right now.
Does this team feel different at this point? Different
I think
meaning,
they do.
We talk about this team. We need it. We want them to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. Is there anything that's leading you to feel like there's some magic?
Yeah, I think there's magic. I believe in this group. I've been around this group for a while. This is my 5th season here in Buffalo. And so I've been around these guys for several seasons. And I think back to the 2021 year when they went 7-6 into the final 4 games of the season and they won out and they had a chance to make a run in the playoffs. Didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but were able to win a game and got pretty far that year. So I look back to that roster and I look back to who's on the roster, and there's quite a few guys who are still on the team that were a part of that 2021 roster. And I know every year is different, but you're able to take something from that season when you had a 7-6 record and maybe it looked bleak in terms of not a big chance to make the playoffs, but they did it and they won out and they peaked at the right time and things were going well on offense and defense then. And I believe in this group now and hey, they've got 5 weeks left. I think they figured it out on offense in the perfect time. I talked about them scoring over 30 points the last 2 weeks. Josh Allen's stats have been incredible. He's been using his ground game a little bit more, which I just think gets him going every single week, is carrying the rock and the quarterback sneaks that they have used. And so I just feel faithful in this group, and they're getting healthier on defense too, which has been a big issue for the team. They've been able to hold it together on defense, but they're getting a couple guys back this week, and I would expect that's going to help them too against the Kansas City Chiefs offense, who's been struggling to score the football as they're tied for 11th, scoring an average of like 22 points per game.
They're certainly susceptible. We got Maddy Glab believing in her Buffalo Bills. She's with the Buffalo Bills ahead of that big matchup, 4:25 Eastern window on Sunday. Appreciate you, Maddy. Hope all is well. Happy holidays. If I don't talk to you, we'll be back on the Up and Adam show with Braxton Berrios. Spent time with the Patriots, where he was drafted, went through some adversity as a rookie. Then he goes to the Jets. He's got stuff to say about Zach Wilson. Now he's a Miami Dolphin, and he's up for a Pro Bowl. Go vote for him. You play daily fantasy, here are some values. It's DF, yes! Week 14, I cannot believe it is week 14 at quarterback. I would pay up for Justin Fields. This guy, 7,900. Come on, he's got the Lions. Their defense has been struggling a little bit. And Justin has 100 yards on the ground alone last time he faced the Lions. At running back, I'd stay with that game and go with Jahmyr Gibbs. Why not? His price has dipped after a quiet outing last week, but he had 95 total yards in the score, 6 catches last time he faced Chicago. And at receiver, Elijah Moore, especially if Flacco plays and Amari Cooper does not play. Elijah saw 12 targets, put up a season-high 83 yards last week. Great matchup against the Jags secondary that we saw get ripped apart by Jake Browning. There we have it. We got it. Justin Fields, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Elijah Moore. Okay, at Up and Adam Show with your tweets, guys, your thoughts, all of that on Week 14, on Bills, Chiefs, on Sean McDermott, on you guys can talk about whatever you want over on our YouTube chat, and I'll be checking in on that shortly. But I got to sit down with Braxton Berrios yesterday because the Dolphins, they're the hottest team, and they're the most fun team in the league right now. 3-game win streak. They got the 1 seed right where they won it, right in their hands. And I got to catch up with him. We talked a little Dolphins, talked a little Alex Earl. Take a look.
Braxton,
You're in Miami. You're doing your thing. Pro Bowl voting open this weekend. You're leading the return specialist vote so far. Are you loving your life?
Life's good. Life is very good. I am loving it. I can't complain being down here. You know, I grew up a Dolphins fan, a Hurricanes fan as well. You know, my first dream was realized when I played college here at the U. And then you know, this is the second half of my lifelong dreams, honestly being lived out right now. So it's been really cool.
I've said this on my show a couple of times. Like, I wish I was on the love this team. It looks like you guys are having the most fun. Is that true?
I was just about to say, you would have fun if you were here. Yeah, it is. It's a blast.
I've talked to a lot of your teammates, and I have the most fun interviewing them because they have this looseness that you're talking about where you said it doesn't feel like you're working. What is the key to that on this team? How does that, I think every American wants to know, or everyone in the world would like to know how you guys achieve that.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, we put a lot of effort and energy into it, right? So, you know, it's not per se easy by any means, but, you know, just the attitude and the culture around here is, you know, very, it's just fun. And I don't know how else to describe it. You know, it's, you know, the work hard, play hard type thing. You know, everybody enjoys doing what we do. And, you know, obviously we've had some success so far, 12 games into the year. And, you know, it definitely makes it easier, but it also hones in the fact that, you know, the work got us here. So as long as we keep doing that part, then I think the fun's going to continue as well.
You sound like a veteran, Braxton. It's amazing. I love this for you. I love your journey. I mean, you've seen what championship teams are made of. You've seen what dysfunctional stuff is made of as well. So now you're in this place where it's all working for y'all. And I love it. Wide receiver room. What a bunch of characters. How do you describe this wide receiver group?
I think you took it away. A bunch of characters. I mean, it's funny because everybody, you know, we can be very different individually. But in that room, I mean, honestly, there's so much A talent and, you know, B knowledge from, you know, our veterans, obviously, but also from, you know, our coach, Wes Welker, who is, you know,
I mean, that's crazy.
An absolutely incredible career. So, you know, it's all those things. And it's so nice having a coach that played because, you know, it's very detailed and specific. And it's real. And a little thing about Wes, you know, whenever he's trying to explain a route or explain what to do, he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't draw it up. He just puts on his clips. So we get to watch Wes Welker clips about every day.
Well, you must love seeing those clips that Wes Welker plays because Kyrie called you Wes Welker 2.0, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Do you see the comparisons working with him now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I understand it. And obviously I've heard it for years and years and years. And, you know, when I came into the league with New England, you know, that kind of solidified some people's opinions as well. But no, it is. And truthfully, I've learned so much from him. Again, by what he says and how to do it, but also by watching it, which is, you know, which is different.
Braxton, I'm imagining Wes, I'm just picturing Wes had the worst of Bill Belichick. How much y'all don't know how lucky you are you getting out of Wes Welker?
You actually sounded like him right there.
Tyreek Hill, MVP case. Do you want to make it? Does he deserve to be the MVP?
I don't think there's a question about it. I mean, you watch him, right? And again, our quarterback is also completely in that race as well because he throws on the ball every time too. But I mean, you watch him, and there has not been many plays where the defense can take him away. You know, no matter what they do, no matter what kind of coverages they try to run. I mean, he has been unbelievable. And again, you know, don't want to jinx anything, knock on wood, but he's on the track to do something nobody's ever done. And I think anytime that happens, you have to be at the top of a MVP race.
Name a woman.
Don't do this.
Name a woman.
I don't do this. I can't do this. First of all, I know where you got this from.
I just want to know, what percentage of men on TikTok do you think said Alex Earl to that question to all of their wives and girlfriends? What percentage of men answered Alex Earl?
I mean, if they're married, they're probably going through a rocky place right now. I honestly hope, I mean, obviously I answered it that way, but I hope for their sake, not many.
I feel like McDaniel and your teammates must have a lot of fun with this, just because you're dating the hottest thing in the game, just point blank. So is there an Alex Earl play call? Has there been talk about it? How much real estate does Alex Earl have on that team?
You know, she is incredible. You're right. And Coach McDaniels loves to chirp and loves to chirp me and loves to chirp me about that. That's all I'm gonna say. But there is some real estate, at least in his mind, to throw around whenever he wants of that. Absolutely.
Listen, Coach, I need a play call. I need to hear it on the microphones.
There's not a play call. There is not a play call. I will say there's not a play call.
So does he ever give you love advice? Is that Mike McDaniel's game?
I don't think. I think it's more satire than actual advice. Supposedly he is very comfortable and confident about his game of getting his wife. That is absolutely has been portrayed to me. But there's not much advice. I mean, today he told me get married, everything gets better. So I guess that is a little bit of advice. Randomly, not even in context.
Braxton, are you going to marry this girl?
No, stop. You asked if he gives it. No. You asked if he gives advice.
Speaking of rings, let's get you one with the Super Bowl. No,
that would be pretty cool. From New England, I do. Yeah. I was on IR.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. You don't. Come on now. There's no.
I do have a ring. I do have a ring. As a competitor, it feels interesting, right? You're on IR. You don't play. So as a competitor, you feel like you didn't earn it in a sense, right? So I do have a ring. That is a fact. But yeah, I would love to, I guess, quote unquote, get a second, but really, really be a part of one.
Braxton, I hope to see you at the Super Bowl in Vegas, and not just on red carpets and being the star that you are in your outside football career, but I think y'all can go play it. Who would you want to play? Do you have a team that you have in mind in the NFC?
No, I don't think it matters. I want us to get there, and then the rest we'll figure out down in Vegas.
Enjoy the ride. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Pro Bowl, get your votes in. Hey, Alex Arlarmi, get over there and vote for him to make in the Pro Bowl as a specialist. Okay, if the Dolphins are going to make the Super Bowl run happen, it really is going to be on the strength of the offense. I love that I asked him about Tyreek. He brought in Tua. Really good answers. He didn't want to own the Super Bowl ring, which he obviously, what are you supposed to do, not take it? But he wants to win another one. They got the #1 ranked passing game. Do not sleep on the fact, by the way, that they have the #2 ranked run game either. No one has finished first in both categories in NFL history. We'll see what they can do. They got a big game against Tennessee this week. We'll see. Monday Night Football. All right. We return. It all goes down Sunday night at AT&T Stadium. Eagles, Cowboys breaking it down next. I got you a Christmas present, and here's your Christmas present from us at Up and Adams.
No way.
Where's Brock in your personal MVP conversation?
Man, my boy number one right now. It ain't up for debate.
Brock Purdy is that guy. He really is that dude. They are the best team in the NFL. It's not close. If they stay healthy, they're the team.
If you were to go in the locker room and get to talk to the Seattle Seahawks team, what are you saying to these Seahawks?
I'd say, guys, we're going to punt on third down every series. I don't know what you do about the 49ers. Hang on for dear life.
Every now and again, he invites the guys over to his house to watch Thursday Night Football, and we'll do karaoke sometimes, and he busts out the guitar, and we all just like to sing.
The drama in New York. They want to make a switch at QB. They're leaning towards going back to Zach Wilson. Zach more reluctant. Can you blame the guy?
Yes, I can. There's no excuse to be reluctant about going back on the football field if you're a quarterback.
What happens to Bill?
You let Bill leave on his own terms when he's ready. He's too historical of a coach to, quote-unquote, fire him.
Name a woman.
I don't do this.
I had to do an SNL parody commercial where I suffered from violent sneezes. Achoo!
Rob, let's hear your sneeze. NFL season is here. Smirnoff continues to help fans get ready for game day with a lineup of truly delicious, trust me, amazing signature football-themed cocktails. And Smirnoff's giving FanDuel fans more ways to win with the Smirnoff number 21 Sunday Primetime Cocktail. Pick them every single week from now to the Super Bowl. Go to FanDuel.com/Smirnoff, answer 7 cocktail-themed questions about the Sunday night game for a free shot at $10K in prizes. Hammy is here. I don't have a cocktail for you, but I have a question for you. One of the questions you can find over at FanDuel.com/Smirnoff, and it's the completion Cosmo question of the week, and it's honestly, it's kind of a toughie. Which quarterback will complete more passes on Sunday night, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott? Big Eagles-Cowboys game.
That is a tough one, but I think I have to lean Dak. He's on such a tear right now. He's completed 25 or more passes in 5 of his last 6 games.
Yeah.
Jalen's only done that twice over that span, so I got to give it to Dak.
Eagles have the 29th ranked pass defense right now. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I mean, I don't know. It's going to take away Jalen's opportunities a little bit on the other side, I think. I'm going to go with Dak as well. We never agree on these.
I know.
We're agreeing on one?
Yeah.
Ew. Guys, we head on over there and check it out, and then we've got lots to talk about. FanDuel.com/Smirnoff for those questions and that chance for all of that money. All right, Hammer. Sunday night discussion far from over because it's time for a little Hammer time. All right, I want to talk about Dak here. Dak's on fire right now. The offense looks absolutely unstoppable. When you look at this Cowboy squad, what is standing out on the tape as you look forward to Sunday night?
Well, part of it is that aggressiveness that R.J. Ochoa talked about yesterday. Part of it's the scheme. I have to give Mike McCarthy his credit. He's really got this thing clicking. And part of it is the emergence of guys like Brandon Cooks and some of the additions they've made to this offense. So let's look at some of the tape, and I'm going to show you.
He wants to talk about Brandon Cooks. Of course he does.
So let's start with the CD factor. There he is in the slot, and Mike McCarthy is incorporating a lot more motion in his offense than we've seen in the past. You're going to see CD come across the formation here into a little bit of a stack with Michael Gallup. They're going to run double post. CD is going to widen his out before breaking back in. And watch what happens as this play unfolds. Michael Gallup is going to occupy both of those safeties, and as soon as Dak sees Quandre Diggs step down on the post from Gallup, he knows he has CD to the back of the end zone. He's just going to put it right at the top of that Y in Cowboys.
Hey.
In absolute striking. You know, you put it anywhere in CD's general area, he's going to go get it. And then here's the Brandon Cooks factor. Again, you're going to see motion, which has become such a big staple for the Cowboys. It's again going to become pretty much a stack with CD and Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is going to run that deep cross. But watch how skillfully he runs this route, too. There are 2 underneath defenders there. He gets skinny, gets through both of them without a collision, and is able to break to green grass. Dak is going to put that ball right about that 25-yard line for another big play, another absolute rope from Dak. But even when things don't go according to plan, Dak has been able to shine this year. We saw this one last Thursday night, but the coaching tape, it looks even better. You got to show it.
What happened?
Darrell Taylor comes free off the edge. He has Dak dead to rights. I mean, no quarterbacks get out of this. Look at this. His feet are barely even on the ground. And I still don't understand watching this how he gets out of it, but he does. Gets outside the pocket, and another laser on the sideline.
Squats, I don't know how did he do that?
It's unbelievable, and I just think this thing is going to keep rolling. This, as you mentioned, this Eagles pass defense has been struggling a little bit.
Well, why don't they don't want to tackle?
I'm not going to say they don't want to tackle. You can say it. I'm not going to call them out like that. But the total for this game is at 51.5. I think we see the overhit. And I think we see Dak go for over 300 yards again. That's -102 right now for him to go over.
So is he going to win the MVP?
They have to win these games down the stretch. They have so many tough games down the stretch. If he keeps ripping off wins, this is the big one. You got to beat the Eagles. If you lose to the Eagles, I think his MVP case is over. If he wins this one, it picks up a lot of steam. We might see him jump ahead of Brock Purdy.
And it also takes away from Jalen's bid for it because they're facing each other. And by the way, they haven't faced each other much at all. They faced each other 3 times ever, which is that's unbelievable. It's going to
be the third, yeah.
And what's the split here? This is 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Jalen won.
Jalen won the most recent one.
And then 2021 they played each other, and Dak won that one. So we'll see what happens, and if they can, if it were up to Hamilton, he'd have Brandon Cooks be the MVP of the entire National Football
League. I love how this has become a thing, just because I said I thought his addition would help the offense.
Do you think I'm stupid that you think that I don't know that you put that Brandon Cooks play in there just to mess with me? Do you think I'm dumb? I was born yesterday. Okay, you said who's favored?
The Cowboys are favored by 3.5 points.
What do you think of that?
We haven't seen them beat this Eagles team since the Eagles have really become what they are now.
Yeah.
So I was a little surprised to see it. I know they've been playing really well right now, and the Eagles are coming off a loss, but still, seeing the Cowboys get favored, that's a big statement, and they have to back it up now.
I did something unbelievable this week. You never thought would happen. I went to a holiday party. Now, would you like to give me credit, give me an attaboy? Would you like to say how amazing I am that I showed up to a holiday party?
I was waiting to do this until I had confirmation that you actually were there. Even though you kept saying that you were going to go, I still didn't believe it. But I saw pictures, and it looked like it was a great time.
And we have another holiday party.
Yes,
in Los Angeles.
And I will be there for that one.
Okay, so Hamilton's coming to Los Angeles for the week, and we are going to the Broncos-Chargers game. Any thoughts on that one as we... as that one unfolds, that's at SoFi, late window.
Yeah, and that's a big one because obviously the Broncos coming off that loss to the Texans, they almost have to win out if they're going to make the playoffs right now. And it starts, that Chargers team, I know they haven't been playing, especially offensively, haven't really been clicking
they're
late.
Feel themselves in like a unhinged way.
Yeah.
Like in a way that like they shut out the pass, and I think they're like really probably feeling themselves. At least that's what I'm hearing, and that's like not the place you want to be. Like relax.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a really good one because I think, obviously whenever you get to see Justin Herbert.
Who do you think wins that game?
I think we see the Broncos get back on track and pull it out. I do.
Broncos lose to the Texans, travel again. We'll see how that works out. Do you like how I got the fact that Braxton Berrios is going to propose to Alex Earl out there? I'm always breaking the cool people news. And did you like that I knew the TikTok trend of name a woman?
You're so cool.
I'm so young, hip, cool, with it. Lit, all the things. All right, we got a couple minutes here. We got nothing to say. No, nobody wants to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about anything. How much time do we have? Should we go to the YouTube chat? Oh, I don't have it. Anyone have them? Oh, look, I didn't get insurance. There's my email. What else is wrong in the world? Where's the YouTube links? We're going to hit the YouTube links, guys. Let's hit the chat.
There you go.
Oh, Barbara!
Where's Barbara?
Barbara Carroll. Oh, Barbara. Here he is, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Here's your guy. Debo, no case, stay out of here. Why am I shiesty? What's happening? Whoa, Luke Doves.
You missed open enrollment.
Did I really miss it? No, I didn't. That's what I'm worried about because look at it. Said it's time to register. No, if it. Oh man, did I miss open enrollment?
You missed open enrollment. Thank you, Ryan.
Again? That's not good. Okay, what else? This chat is thirsty. Get out of my chat if you think it's thirsty. Oh, did we delete people's messages?
Whoa.
No. We're not deleting messages. Luke Doves, you're okay. I can be shiesty. And Scott A, this chat is thirsty. We're with it. I can't believe we're deleting messages. That's it. All right, that's it. What do we have next week? You're in LA all week, so that's fun.
I hear Deshaun Jackson is going to be...
Taylor Lewan will be on Monday. We have Deshaun Jackson on Monday.
Yep.
Debo.
I hope he brings the sunglasses again.
Debo. Okay, that'll be fun. And then we're working on more guests. We're working on many more guests, guys, to bring you guys next week.
Another Gronk surprise.
No. I can't handle another Gronk surprise. All right.